An illegal lockout is when your landlord tries to evict you or make you leave without going through the court process. This can look like changing your locks, shutting off your utilities, or removing your belongings from the property. Hi, I'm Kevin Quinn, supervising attorney at the Center for Elder Law and Justice. And in this video, we'll try to make sure you're prepared for an illegal lockout. We will be covering legal evictions, new protections available for tenants in New York State, and what to do with an illegal lockout. These rights will be specific to New York State. Check the description for the New York State Attorney General's Tenants' Rights Guide. But other states likely have similar rules. You can contact your local state attorney general's office for more information on this topic. In almost all cases, your landlord can only evict you or make you leave your home by going through the court process. There are two different types of legal eviction proceedings that a landlord can bring. The first is what's called a non-payment eviction. As the name suggests, a non-payment eviction proceeding is brought when your landlord is claiming that you failed to pay your rent. However, before your landlord can go to court, there are certain requirements that they must first meet. First, your landlord must provide you with a notice in writing stating that your rent is more than 5 days late. After that, your landlord must provide you with a second notice stating that you have either 14 days to pay the rent that's owed or to leave your home. After those 14 days are up, your landlord can then file a non-payment eviction proceeding with the court. You would receive a notice with your court date and the grounds for which your landlord is seeking to evict you, in this case, the non-payment of rent. If your landlord fails to provide you with either of the notices we discussed, the court may decide that the eviction is invalid. The second type of eviction is called a holdover eviction, and these are brought for any other reason other than the non-payment of rent. Just like non-payment proceedings, your landlord is required to issue a notice before they can go to court. There are also rules that your landlord must follow if they do not want to renew your lease. Again, your landlord has to give you a notice in writing letting you know that they do not plan to renew your lease. In New York State, that notice must include time for the tenant to leave their home. The amount of time that a tenant receives will be dependent on how long they've lived in the property. The amount of time can range from 30, 60, or 90 days. After that time period has passed, your landlord then may file a holdover eviction proceeding in court. Once again, you'll receive a notice from the court with the date, time, and the grounds for which your landlord is seeking to bring the eviction. Like non-payment proceedings, if your landlord fails to bring that notice, the court may find that the holdover eviction is invalid. So, we know that legally, landlords must bring a court proceeding after proper notice in order to have an eviction. Unfortunately, not all landlords follow these rules, but there is good news for tenants. In 2019, New York State passed the Housing Stability and Tenant Protection Act, which gives greater protections for tenants and stricter penalties for landlords for not going through the court eviction process. These types of cases are commonly referred to as illegal or constructive evictions, or illegal lockouts. The new law states that it's unlawful to evict someone through certain methods which include using or threatening to use force, engaging in conduct which interferes with the tenant's ability to enjoy the premises, or engaging in conduct such as removing a door, turning off utilities, changing locks, or removing someone's belongings. Any violation of this provision is now considered a Class A misdemeanor in New York State. Additionally, landlords may be subject to damages for illegally evicting a tenant from a property. So, what if your landlord is threatening you or has already illegally evicted you? We recommend contacting an attorney immediately so that they can begin advocating for your rights. If your landlord has already illegally evicted you, an attorney may be able to help you obtain a court order that would require your landlord allow you back into your apartment. If your landlord has given you one of the non-payment notices or holdover notices that we discussed earlier, we also recommend contacting an attorney right away. An attorney can advocate for your rights even before the court process begins. If you live in Western New York, you can contact the Center for Elder Law and Justice and speak with our housing unit at 716-853-3087. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for more future legal explainers on housing and many other topics. Remember, the best way to protect your rights is to know them.